we're back. Last year, my next guest appeared in 7 films, including the critically acclaimed The Tao of Steve. He's now starring in the new Fox show Grounded for Life, and starting Friday can be seen with Mel Gibson in The $1 Million Hotel. Please welcome the very busy Donal Logue.
Good to be back.
I like having people on with my same skin pigment. Man. It's nice to have you here.
Dude, together we're unstoppable.
That's right, yeah.
Wonder Twin power. Non-cannibal power, unite.
What do you use when you go to the beach? Like a number 60
number
sunblock?
97.
97, yeah. It shoots sun back at the sky.
It's so sad to not be able to walk out in the sun without fear.
It is true. I've had I have a dermatologist who told me just don't go outside.
Ever.
You're like, what are you talking about? And he's basically saying don't live on the planet Earth.
Exactly. Unless you're in Ireland, which rains 364 days a year.
We should be in a peat bog, the both of us. Now there are exciting times. You're expecting your second child in a couple of weeks, right?
Sure, in March, mid-March.
That's very cool.
It's very exciting, very nerve-wracking.
How old is the first child?
He's just about 2. He's just about 2.
So is he asking questions like what's happening, about the baby?
But his behavior's kind of changing. He's having little night frights, and he has some kind of he has some kind of sense of what's going on, I think.
Right.
Someone's coming.
Right.
In fact, someone told me in Spanish there's a word, and I can't, like it's called chipe or something, which is a fear that someone is coming to displace you.
I've often first season, the first season of this show, I had that fear night and day.
I am full with chipe, my friend.
They're like, we're bringing in Richard Belzer. What? Now, how did do you know what you're gonna when your kids are old enough to ask questions about sex and stuff? Are you gonna go by what your parents told you? Were your parents good at handling the sex questions?
Exactly. I'm 34, and I don't think we've ever discussed it.
You know what? I know exactly.
We're all Irish Catholics. Come on.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
It's like a word that never comes up.
Absolutely not. It's so viciously uncomfortable that it's really funny. And I can see trying to be a little bit more open about it with my son, but I'd probably fail miserably too. But I think I'll be better than my parents.
Right. What did your parents? Did they give you some impression of what sex was?
Like from an Irish perspective, sex is something that happens between 2 people on opposing farms in the middle of the night, where they just kind of run naked into the middle of a field, and it's more like fisticuffs than anything else. And then they even though they're married now, they can't look at each other en masse because of the shame.
Yes, it's a wonderful culture we have.
Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this movie that you've done. It's The $1 Million Hotel.
That's right.
And your co-star Mel Gibson has gotten in some hot water because he went out on this. The press asked him about the movie, and he gave this quote, this very controversial quote about the film, where he said, "It's as boring as a dog's ass."
Yeah.
And people are saying, like, "What'd you say that for?"
Well, he's Australian, right? And he said it in Australia, and I'm sure it's euphemistic for like boring. If you consider a dog's ass to be boring. I mean, like, my dog, we go to the dog park with my dog, and she's good looking, but 100 dogs come up to see what's going on with her ass.
Right.
So how boring could it be? It's like, in Australia, it must be like, how they have the Foster, like, white shark, and it's like, gappy.
Right.
It must be like, an incredible party is like a dog's ass, mate.
So he's saying it's like thumbs up. That's a high compliment from him. Have you hung out with Mel Gibson? I mean, one of the biggest stars in the world. You spend any time with him?
Well, it's funny because during the $1 Million Hotel, my son was born, and his 7th child was coming just a month later, and he was very cool about kind of giving new dad advice. And then on The Patriot, I remember one day he was like, "Look, after work, I'm going back to Los Angeles on my plane, and if you want to come and go see your family real quick, you're welcome."
He gave you a ride on his private plane.
So you're cruising, and he goes back to the bathroom or something, and you're just looking for any kind of phone, so you can have that casual conversation with your friend. Like, what are you doing? "Oh, I'm just, hanging at 42,000 feet. Hey, Mel, can you grab me water or something?" Mel who? "Oh, Mel Gibson, my good buddy who I hang out with and travel around with all the time." But no, he's an incredibly generous guy.
If you want, you can ride in my Ford Taurus sometime.
I would be honored, sir.
Just, dude, do you know where I am right now?
We're at me and Conan are at the Big John supermarket. He's getting me a Slurpee, man.
Your friend puts the phone down. Grounded for Life is on Wednesday nights at 8:30 on Fox, and it's doing really well. And the $1 Million Hotel opens tomorrow in New York and Los Angeles. Donal, it's great having you on the show again.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it's always
good to
fun
see
having you here.
Thank you.
Continued success. Donal Logue, everybody. We'll be right back. Dolly Parton gonna sing a song for us.
Want to hear more of Conan's Max Weinberg 7? Now there's a CD. Available at music retail everywhere or at NBCI.com or call 1-800-SHOP-NBC.